Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right to the daily SPY, and again, bullish pattern above the MAs. We did close 40 cents down and right on this trend line. So let's keep an eye on that. If you are bullish, you need to get above the all-time high, then possibly 245. We'll look up in that area. Once it gets there, then we'll see how it sets up for possibly higher prices. Light volume continues, we could possibly get a grind up. Maybe one last hoo-ha, get everyone on board, and then the slam. So watch for volume. This week's another important week with volume, and I believe it's options X too. So that's something else to look at. Let's see, 14 cents up, down after hours. But again, guys, above the MA, strong position, bullish pattern. Let's see if this holds. If you're more bearish, you want to see this pattern fail, and then you start coming back down. When that happens, we'll look at areas. You got gap fill. You got a couple gaps. Double bottom, 200 MA. This trend line here is good support. That's a pretty good area around the 225 for a bounce, but we'll see how this thing comes in and how the markets are reacting at that time. Again, guys, light volume. Keep an eye on that. Daily chart of the IWM. Talked about the bearish pattern. Here we are, 8 days into it. Let's see if it chops. Basically, bullish, you need to be above the 20 MA, the 50 MA, above the MAs. That's more of a bullish stance, guys. If that thing starts to move up and you're looking for these little high pivots, then of course the all-time high at 140, 182, then this thing could possibly go to 144 or 145. Let's keep an eye on this one. Slow and steady bearish pattern. Did close below the 20, so you got to watch out for that. So nothing wrong, still above the 50 and above the 200, but if this thing starts coming in, you got this big trend line, you got a little gap fill. It's like maybe by a penny. I'd have to look at it closer. And then the 132, 37. But, honestly, if it starts coming in, it's going to the 200 moving average right here, right around the 130 area. And then we'll see how it reacts. But right now, slightly bullish, slightly bearish. Let's see which one takes over. Light volume prevails, most likely a float up. But again, just take each day as it comes, guys, and we'll try to figure out what it's going to do on the charts. All right, let's look at the Qs. Q, same thing, just grinding. These markets are amazing, guys. Volume, this one's not bad with the volume. It's kind of popping in, doing this, depending on what earnings are going off. But, man, this thing just keeps grinding, guys. 20 MA curling in the price up here. That will be big to maybe possibly send this thing higher. At this point, guys, it's got to go to 140, but for all I know, it just stalls out here and starts rolling over. I'll be waiting for a pattern and this 20 MA to come into price. If it does, it starts coming in, then we'll start looking for support areas. But right now, a little extended. Let's go to the weekly just to take a quick look on there. This is a weekly close, getting a little bit extended. Let's go to the monthly really quick. We've been playing a lot of the monthly high flyers. Yeah, see, it's starting to get a little stretched, guys. So we are 5 months up, though, into the 5th month. We could go a couple more months, guys. Honestly, this isn't a bad bullish pattern. I'd like to see more. Again, this would have been better if it would have curled into price, and that would have sent it up, but a little premature on this one, but we'll keep an eye. Daily chart of the Qs, nothing wrong. Above the MAs. Volume was a little bit lighter than yesterday or the Thursday, so just keep an eye on this one right now, see what's going on. Qs, again, nothing wrong. Ride the wave, guys. Ride the wave. So, this one, though, the DIA, same thing. Straight up, nice bullish pattern above the MAs, holding up. Here's your trend line on this one. Holding on to it. Got below, popped up. But this one hit the 20 MA. That's why it popped up. But pretty much an uneventful day on Friday on the DIA. Just kind of stalled out, sat above the MA or the trend line there. So nothing wrong, guys. If you're bullish, it needs to get above this 211.59, and then honestly, if it goes, then you're looking at 215, 220, and then the trend line up here, 222. If this pattern plays out, it should pop up no problem. But patterns at high sometimes fail. That's what you got to keep an eye on with these patterns. So again, bullish above the MAs. Bearish, though. This thing starts getting below the MAs here, the 50 and the 20. Then we'll watch for gap fills here. Gap fill, double bottom. I still think we're coming down in this area somewhere. 190, 192, a couple gaps to fill. Again, nothing wrong. Keep an eye on volume. DIA, 30 stocks, so it's kind of a wild card. I really don't follow it, but people ask me to do it. So, but nothing wrong. USO now, on the other hand, Stalling out. Let's see. It's still bearish down sideways, getting a little bit of a retrace, fills the gap, kind of holding. But now we're up and sideways, coming in a bullish manner. So let's watch for that. Right now, I still think it's bearish. If it gets above this big red bar and maybe shoots for these guys up here, we're going to see, you know, that's 50% retrace. Then you got the 618 and the 750. This is a big one, 1081. If it gets back up into this area, I might think about shorting it. I might try to wait for this with the double top, but gosh, $11 to $11.28, not bad. Then of course there's another one up here around $11.50. So right now USO, I still think it's in a little bearish pattern. If you go to the weekly chart, same thing on there. Let's open this one a little bit. So this is the weekly. We pulled right back, came right in, and now it's inside this bar. Yeah, big area here. You got to get above like 10.24, $10. Then you might be going up. And then if it does, like I said, $11 trend line, then up in here somewhere, even up to the 11.50 area. Got the gap up in here too as well. So there's some big spots for the USO. Let's see if we could come back up into here. We'll put another short on and give it another try. So, but if not, let's see if it just consolidates sideways weekly. That does, then we're going downtown, guys. So be careful with the USO right now. Not telling us much, just getting a little dead cat bounce from this oversold condition. Keep an eye. Also, you had the trend line support as well. Good support area down in here. That's why we bounced as well. Light volume takes over. Boom. Moves straight up. The UUP now. UUP weekly down sideways, a little bit weak. Let's go to the daily on this one. Daily, we've been talking about this bearish pattern. Went down, came in, popped up, started doing a bullish pattern here. Boom, right back in. Closed right on top of the 200, below pretty much the MAs again. Let's keep an eye on this. I still like this area down in here. When it was going up, it was like, well, I guess we'll miss it, but boom, it's coming right back in. A couple gaps to fill, double bottom down in here. I still think we could possibly fill this gap right around 25 bucks. I think there's other ones too here. Yeah, you got one around, well, that one's low. But you got some pivots and some gaps down in here. 24.50, you got a nice one at 24.72. So let's see if we get back down again. Nothing to do on here. If you're short, you know, from up in there, you know, start taking something off. That's not a bad trade from here to here. You get a buck on this. Take some profits, guys. All right, let's look at the GLD. Jnug's been moving up too. We'll look at that one as well. With the GLD, we're still in it, half position. This one bounced off the trend line, came in, still bearish. So keep an eye on this one. I think if we come up into here, that's your big area. Got to get above the red bar, get above the MAs, and then possibly higher prices. Right now, this thing's setting up for possibly lower prices. But let's keep an eye on the markets. They're pretty complacent with the light volume. That's what's not helping the GLD right now. But, you know, eventually people will get interested in this when if the markets get a little bit shaky, you know, or news. It's all going to be news driven at this point, guys. Jnug. Jnug daily chart right into the 20 MA. That's where it's stalling out. So big thing, it's got to get above the 20 MA. Gets above the 20 MA, this thing can possibly start to go. So again, we'll see if we go up and sideways for another pattern for a pop. Or, you know, honestly, they could drop it right back down. You got to think, if people got in around 14 bucks, this thing's at 18, that's a $4 move into resistance. Some of the prop traders or short-term traders who hopped into this trade are going to be taking profits. So be careful. That's all I can say. Let's watch for pattern. Let's see if we get above the 20. Right now, we're stalling out. Let's see what happens. Good resistance here from the consolidation as well. So keep an eye on this one. Let's see if we get higher. Next level, though, you know, 22, you got a gap fill right at 22.52. Then 23.50 right at the 50 MA. So honestly, 20, then probably right in here around 22.50. And then the 23.62. If this thing comes right back down, test double bottom, then you're probably going lower. So not to go right into the worst case scenario, but let's see how this thing holds up here, or does it start to fade and come back to double bottom? Give it one last shakeout because it shook everyone out. Everyone's chasing. Maybe one more time, and then we'll go for it. And maybe get a little bit of a W bottom too. Yeah, oh, I'd love to see this come back down and then go back up. Then we'll be buying down here at double bottom. That's a pattern we'll be watching for as a W pattern. Let's go into the GDXJ. That's the one that controls the Jnug, I've been told. Right here, you got gap window. You got the high pivots. That's pretty much where it stalled out. But look at this thing. It gapped up above the 20 MA. So let's see if we can continue up. If it continues up, that will be good. We got a couple gaps to fill on the way up. But the 50 MA here at 34.57, hey, that's a $2. That's $2 from here. That's not a bad trade. Better if you got it from down here. For me, it's already moving. This would have been the time. Actually, this area 28.62, 27. That's where everyone was waiting with the light volume. They just held it and then turned it around. So I'd wait for another pullback. If we get it, that's when I'll be a buyer. But if it goes up, it's going up without me. But GDX looking good, guys. Got to get above this. Got to fill these gaps and try to get above the 50. If it gets above that, guys, we're going right here at 38 bucks. But a couple steps at a time. Or sideways consolidation for an up move, or it fades and then comes right back down. You know, got a gap to fill. Got to get back below the 20 MA. Got to stay above the MAs if you're bullish. If it gets back below, possibility of testing double bottom and maybe coming to these areas where these lines are. There's, I think it's gap fills, or yeah, gap fill and then double bottom. So that's what we're watching for. Because man, we should have went down a couple more days, but instead they held it, brought it up, get some chasers on, shake them out, and then the next move up. So watch the GDXJ for the Jnug. All right, guys. Happy Mother's Day. To all your mothers out there, hopefully you're having a great day. I want to do a quick video. I didn't have a chance on Friday or Saturday. Just been busy coaching. We're going into playoffs, and had a big golf outing on Friday. I posted the trophy. I didn't win the trophy, but that was the trophy. It's a bunch of dads from our church. We got 144 people out on the golf course and had a good time. So I wasn't around on Friday, but I'll be back on Monday. Look for some live sessions. I'm going to try to do some, maybe some evening ones. So if you're not a member at StockBookie.com, go to the site, sign up. It's free, and just looking to try to get a good community of traders together and find more trades, guys. So thanks again for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.